teaming up with the big tech platforms like Facebook to flag, quote, problematic posts about COVID-19, and has administration staffers working to police content online. Press Secretary Jen Psaki admitting it yesterday.
We are in regular touch with these social media platforms. We've increased disinformation research and tracking within the Surgeon General's office. We're flagging problematic posts for Facebook that spread disinformation.
Best word.
And despite the backlash and concerns it could lead to a crackdown on speech, Psaki doubling down during a clash with our very own Peter Doocy.
For how long has the administration been spying on people's Facebook profiles looking for vaccine misinformation?
Well, that was quite a loaded and inaccurate question, which I would refute.
How?
Well, Peter, first of all, as you know, we're in a regular touch with a range of media outlets. Let me finish. As we are in regular touch with social media platforms.
The big concern, though, I think, for a lot of people on Facebook is that now this is Big Brother watching you.
They're more concerned about that than people dying across the country because of a pandemic where misinformation is traveling on social media platforms.
And Joe Biden had this very strong reaction.
What's your message to platforms like Facebook?
They're killing people. I mean, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated. And they're killing people.
All right, so Jessica, if you're a government official, you can crack down on free speech and just say, hey, I'm saving lives. Saving lives. We're going to take away your First Amendment, saving lives.
I don't really see how this is cracking down on the First Amendment because
they're
everything
getting
that's
people nuked off Facebook?
No, well, they're not actually. So the study that Jen Psaki cited was publicly available, was published actually in May. It's covered by a range of outlets that said that there were 12 main accounts that were spreading 65% of the disinformation about COVID-19. We can all Google it. I did Google it. That's for us to see. Okay. Facebook, when you post on Facebook, you do. I don't have an account, but if I did, I would post, and it would be public. And there could be people in the government, there could be people in private organizations, like social media companies that have a responsibility to keep people as safe as possible. And COVID disinformation does get people killed.
Doesn't matter.
That the White House should be in charge of labeling what's disinformation? Because the White House, Joe Biden, the Democratic Party has a horrible track record when it comes to what disinformation is.
I'm not sure that they have that much of a track record. They've only been in for a few months.
I mean, I said the Democrats too. Lab leak, open borders.
Okay, either way.
Laptop.
Sending a memo.
Russian hoax.
Let me
all
finish
of that
it.
was
Let
disinformation. Let me just put a hypothetical out, and then Greg can answer. Greg, so let's just say President Trump. We weren't getting anywhere. Let's say President Trump, okay, a couple years ago, colluded with Facebook to crack down on people posting about the Russia hoax. Mm-hmm. And he said, you know what? CNN's posting about the Russia hoax. It's disinformation. It's tearing the country apart. Let's nuke them. What do you think the media would have said then?
They would have gone crazy. And that's actually a really good analogy. I interrupted it. I said it doesn't matter. None of this matters. Once the government is involved with a corporation, that's a violation of the First Amendment. That's what's happening. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if you believe it's misinformation. It doesn't matter because it's for misinformation. Every opinion could be misinformation by your definition. That's what the First Amendment is. Coming out and saying your opinion. I don't trust this government. I do trust you, Jessica, but I don't trust most Democrats in defining what misinformation is, to Jesse's point. I mean, imagine the people, look at it from our perspective. Imagine the people who spent decades calling us stupid, rubes, and racists are now in charge of controlling the spread of information by using the word misinformation. Any sane person would say hell no, but we don't even have to say hell no. We can say we're totally wrong. It doesn't matter. This is a violation of the First Amendment. If you can use the misinformation against any, let's say, Republican conservative argument. A defense of law enforcement, well, you want blacks to die. Your defense of capitalism, you want the poor to die, right? A defense of school choice, you want teachers to die. Anything could be based on the fact that these people are going to die so we can control the information. That's why you have to stop it now. They're going to use this argument, they're killing people to control you. And There'll be times when the information comes out and it's wrong, and it'll be wrong on the left and it'll be wrong on the right. That doesn't matter. The collusion is what matters.
Here's what I think happened, Shannon. The White House really screwed up the Johnson & Johnson situation. You saw when they came out and they spread data about J&J, vaccination rates plummeted, never recovered, right? And so now he doesn't meet his July 4th goal for vaccinations, and he's just saying, Facebook, it's your fault. And all you people, all you right-wingers, it's your fault. And we're going to get rid of you.
Well, do you remember just a couple of weeks after President Biden was inaugurated, there was this piece in the New York Times, and people laughed it off or whatever, but they talked to experts and they said, we need a reality czar. And what we're going to do is have a full federal government response where across agencies, these people will all meet, they'll look for disinformation, they'll shoot it down, it'll go through the reality czar, who then will then meet with the heads of big tech. So, and a lot of people at the time were like, that sounds sort of crazy. Well, then when this stuff comes up, people are like, well, no, baby, that's actually what they're doing. And, you know, it gives rise and it gives wind to the sails, really, from former President Trump, his lawsuit against all these tech companies when he says they are acting as government actors. So if it looks like there is coordinated activity between the government and between big tech, it only helps his argument.
Right.
Of course.
So the White House pressuring monopolies to take out political speech they disagree with.
Right, and that's exactly the point that you were making about the collusion. So the legal argument essentially is that the government has deputized these social media platforms, so allowing it to serve as an arm of the government and therefore it's state-sanctioned censorship. And why it's so dangerous is not only the facts get censored, whether or not they're true or not, but also the public response to it. So it's twofold. And it's like, to your point, that the common carriers that the government has granted special status to, special favors, well, the law then sees them as quasi-governmental agencies. They are in a distinct category. They're not this private company. Justice Clarence Thomas pointed it out. He said, Twitter has made clear the right to cut off speech lies most powerfully in the hands of private digital platforms. And then he went on to say, I'm paraphrasing, that where it gets so dirty and messy is when it's a First Amendment issue because the government has been intertwined with them now. And he essentially said at the time the question hasn't been raised. But I think Jen Psaki's statements in conjunction with the former president's lawsuit means that the time is now. And given all of this, the courts will not rule in their favor.
I'm going to give you the last word because I did rudely interrupt you, Jessica.
Oh, that's sweet.
Did someone get in your ear?
No one got in my ear. No one got in my ear.
Now I'm wasting my time.
The clock is
two
ticking.
things. This is obviously not the first administration to have Mark Zuckerberg or with Jack Dorsey, right? This has happened under Republican and Democratic administrations. And I would love to see proof that the list of problematic posts that Jen Psaki or whoever sent over to them are actually ones that got taken down. And they do work with governments and NGOs and officials all over the world to make sure that they're keeping the platforms as safe as possible. And that means to take down videos that terrorists are posting. Like, that's one of the main... Okay, we're done.
Well, it's not a terrorist to say that you don't like the vaccine. That's not terrorism, okay? I should never have given you the last word. You want one more? You want to say one more thing? You're making me feel bad, Jessica, the faces. Go ahead,
I was going to say, it's good to see Democrats finding a flag that they like.
No!
Oh, them's fighting words.
So much for following.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube.
Right. Hey, call halam la ya Shabashim Kakadash. Hey, double honor to the apostle elders, great millstone, who I learned this truth from. Who teaching rule well, teaching 100% truth. Peace, love, blessed, salutations, the sincere argument, all for listening in on the truth, pushing in the truth, trying to make that calling of election sure. Shalom to the brothers pushing in the truth across the four winds of the earth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. May the calling of election be upon our homes. Hey, man, I'm just gonna get these two quick precepts real quick, just going in on that little video clip that I just showed you. And they man, you see what they trying to do, man. And as we can see, soon it's gonna be soon enough, man, it's gonna be a famine of the word, man. You know, I believe that's Amos 8, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Amos 8 and 11. It say, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahabashim Habashah. Because we know it's not going to just stop at Facebook, man. You know, they're going to be trying to condemn and stop all the speech you know, from all platforms, man, you know, like they doing now. Because right now, in my case, man, I have 2 pages that been shut down, you know, due to so-called medical information, man. You know, and we see what this devil trying to do, man. He's trying to stop this truth from going out, you know, and eventually it's going to be a famine of this word, man. You know, that's why, hey, man, in my videos, I be stressing, man, you know, and just like any other brother, you know, hey, man, get this truth, you know. But like I always say, man, get this truth while it's hot, you know, because it's coming to a time, man, where, hey, man, it's going to be a famine of this word, man. You're not going to be able to get this truth, man, you know, because this devil is trying to cook up all his mischief. You know, I get that, you know, and then I come back to this. Hold on, let me just grab this other quick precept. Psalms. Psalms 10:7. It say his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity, man. You know, and that's what this devil's trying to do, man. He's just trying to, you know, discredit this truth, you know, and stop this truth from coming out, you know, so he can continue to do his mischief, man. You know, cause hey, like the scripture say, man, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, man. You know, this devil ain't nothing but a liar. You know, verse 8, it say he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. Verse 9, he lieth and waits secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth and wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Verse 10, he croucheth and humble himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Verse 11, he have said in his heart, the Most High have forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see it. You know, and he think the Most High don't see these things that he's trying to do in the earth, man. You know, and like I said, this is all leading up to him trying to ultimately bring that famine of the word, man. Trying to shut the word, man, from the word, trying to keep the word from going out, man. You know, and setting his eyes on the poor. We know who mainly the poor is, man. You Israelites. That's why he's saying for you so-called unjuice, you know, we know the mainly ones that, hey, statistics show, man, the main ones that's, you know, been skeptical about getting juice, man, are Jakes, man. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Seminole Indians, and Native Americans. So we see exactly what's going on. And like I said, with him bringing out this, you know, trying to shut down this so-called speech against the Jews, man, you know, that's just, hey, I'm go back to it, man. It's just showing you about that, hey, man, it's close to us going into this famine of the word, man, you know, and that's what's going on. So once again, I'll grab one more time. Amos 8:11, it say, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh. And that's what's going on, man, and that's what's coming. So, hey, man, I'm going to leave it off right there. Like I said, I just want to grab that, just a quick lesson, you know. Hey, man, brothers, get prepared because, hey, as you can see, this devil is ready to crack down, you know, and they trying to cut this word off, man. Well, because the prophets are the main ones that's speaking out against this wickedness and this evil, you know, that this devil is doing in the earth. You know, so with that, I'll leave it off right there, you know, giving all glory, honor, infinite praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone, who I learned this truth from, who teach and rule well, teaching 100% truth. Peace, love, blessed, salutation to the sincere argument out Waff, who are listening in on this truth, pushing in this truth, trying to make that calling of election sure. And shalom to the brothers pushing the truth across the four winds of the earth. Shalom to the whole elect. May the calling of election be upon our homes. To the next time, I want to say, Wa Ba Ba Ba, Ba Ba Shah, Ba Ba Shah, Ba Ba Shah, Ba Ba Ba. Amen. Keep the faith. Shalom.